Hi, and welcome back to the Someone Asked series with the Circle of Hope pastors. Today you're with me, Nate, Rod, and Johnny. And as we continue to move through Advent here, today we're dealing with the question someone asked, does the Magnificat, Mary's song, mean anything? What do you think there, Rod? Get us rolling. What, does it mean anything at all?
Yeah, it means everything, actually. And I think people ask this every year because this song, I was telling my friend in my cell just now, is from Kiev, that probably they were singing some version of this great song in Kiev right now. And it seemed just as obscure as it was when the teenager was singing it when she found out she was going to bear the Savior. It's still just as seemingly irrelevant, seemingly strange, and you have to wonder: is any of this actually going to come about? I don't want not to go on too long, but someone just wrote me a text literally while you were getting ready to go from my cell, and they said, "Good cell, I learned a lot. It's also a good reminder that the rich will go away empty-handed. There's oppression and torture done in the name of protection, and ultimately this protection is of wealth." I think Mary would have a thing to say to Dick Cheney. So why don't we start there?
Well, I think Mary would have a thing to say to Dick Cheney and to all the other rulers throughout history. And that one of the things that I love about something like this song from Luke is that the church has been holding on to it and singing it and saying it through all of the ages of oppression that even your friend is noting. Right now is in some ways no different than any other time in history since the birth of Jesus, and in some ways very different and very much more evil. So I like that Mary speaks to that.
Yeah, Luke is taking the opportunity that's in front of him and talking back to the culture. He's talking to people that need Jesus, that are poor and oppressed. The whole Gospel of Luke is telling that story, and Mary starts it with the poor will be filled with good things, and the rich sent away empty-handed. This alternative that we're creating, we have opportunity to share the message when we're confronted with police brutality and the 1% running the whole government, torture happening that we knew was happening, torture being defended. We're not just trying to cause a political revolution, but this is an opportunity for Jesus to be declared, for the new way to be shown.
I know I have some friend out there who will watch this who will think I'm just being mean to somebody when I say that it was so unconscionable when Dick Cheney got on the TV on Sunday and actually would not define torture, but actually he just told the propaganda lie, said that what torture is when you're burning to death on the 110th floor of the World Trade Center, which of course is a heinous crime, but that wasn't the point. What's your crime? And when Mary comes out and says, he's going to cast down the mighty from their thrones and he's going to lift up the needy, all over the world, the needy cry out at Advent and say, yes, that's who I want to know. That's the Savior I need. And that the rich are going to keep telling their lies and keep convincing all swaths of the population that it's fine to go ahead and burn people up in the ovens or something like that. But I think Mary comes back as a young woman and says it as one of the real needy. No, really, God's going to come and rescue us from this craziness, this evil.
And he came through Mary, a humble servant of God, as she calls herself, ready to receive. She has the vacancy to receive God and to share him. There's a reason why the wealthy and the powerful are confronted with this and have struggled to follow God. Mary's our perfect example.
Yeah, even the pride inherent in redefining the question and not answering the question is just so. I know it shouldn't be shocking, but it's always shocking to me. I like the part of the song where she says, "You've scattered the proud in the imagination of their hearts." That really evil proud, prideful thing that's going on that just covers up, the atrocities that occur. She's speaking to that too, and saying, no, you can't do that. God's scattering that kind of idea.
Well, I think people are really struggle with whether there's any meaning in this song because of just what you were saying, that actually God is going to act in the present, that God is actually the living God and is going to close up time. I mean, they've been so convinced that time is just going to march into some kind of perfected human future, that humans just keep getting better, everything just keeps getting better, and that there is really no need for judgment, and judgment basically belongs to every individual anyway. So there's this huge philosophical load of hogwash that they just are force-fed by all the institutions in the society, and they keep swallowing it. Most of the people kind of gag on it, but Mary comes up and says it right out, says, no, really, there's an alternative to this, that God really is with us. And it might be difficult to keep faith with God, but that really is the truth. And I'm here to tell you this. I'm experiencing it in my own body. I really love that, because that's what I yearn for, and I live on.
On Sunday, the person who was sharing here at Marlton and Crescent was talking about how Mary took that idea and the faith that she had literally as a teenager, and continued to play it out in her life, and the glimpses that we get of her are those glimpses of continued faith and even opposition to things that are going on. So she's with Jesus when he's 12 in the temple, and she's trying to parent, and she is trying to come to Jesus, and even receiving the hard words when he says, well, who's my mother? And then we see her right at the end. She's still with God, because she's with Jesus even when he's on the cross, and afterward when he rises again. I love the faith development even in her, that she tries to live out the things that she's expressing in her song.
I was in the concrete jungle this weekend, and so I was amazed at, again and again, these little points of light kept coming up, and I kept being able to sing at different points, especially when the Salvation Army people were dancing to "All I Want for Christmas Is You." For some reason, that always moves me, But I could keep going. Yeah, my soul, and I think a lot of our souls were trying to soak up something. My soul proclaims the greatness of the Lord, and my spirit rejoices.
Even in New York City, you could do that?
Even
Amazing.
in New York City, it was there, and I couldn't miss it. They were trying to pave it over, but I couldn't miss it. He's looked on me with favor.
Awesome.
I could feel it.
Johnny, give us a final word.
That light that pierces the darkness that John talks about, I think that's in all of us, and you can develop eyes to see it in the world. You can see it piercing through the darkness. You can see the weed coming up through the concrete and cracking it. The church has something to say back to the world and an alternative to form, and I think that's in you. I think we're the church together, so look for it and show it to the world. We can change the whole thing. We really can. Thanks for doing this.
Awesome, guys. Our 9 minutes is up, so thank you all for watching. Like this video, share it, let your friends know. Ask questions and get to know us personally. Ask us questions in real time too. We're always available. So thanks for being with us, and go in peace.
Yep.